How's it going, everybody? Papa Wall Street back with another Edge Lab video. And today I'm going to talk about my favorite trading books. This is my official recommendation. These are books that I own. They're books that I've owned for a number of years and have really guided me on my trading journey. Now, depending on who you speak to, there's going to be other books that people will recommend. I know there's other books out there that I've read that I enjoyed. I could certainly, come up with a comprehensive list, but honestly, these are the 8 books that I would recommend any new to intermediate trader pick up immediately if you haven't read them. Some of these I have in hardcover, some of these I have in digital form, like a Kindle book. Some of these I even have on audio, and some I have in all three formats. It depends on what type of learner you are. I'm a visual learner, so videos and audiobooks tend to work a little better for me. I get bored reading, um, and when I like to read, kind of like fiction. Stephen King is my favorite author, so that's my kind of escape. I don't necessarily want to read, trading textbooks and things like that. So I like to do audiobooks or video, things like that. Anyway, let's talk about these books. First one is my favorite. That is Trading in the Zone. Now, technically, this is not a trading book. It's not going to teach you anything about the technical art of trading, but it's the most important. If I don't want to sound, you need to get this book. If you don't own this book, this is your first buy. Mark Douglas is the master of trading psychology. In fact, if you get a chance, go to Google or go to YouTube and type in Mark Douglas and look for his Disciplined Trader series. I think it's like a 3 or 4 part video series. It's excellent. It's so good. Start there if you want, but go out, buy this book, read it. Don't take any notes. Don't stop. Just read it once through. Read it a second time once you finish. Start jotting down notes. Bookmark the pages and the chapters that stand out to you, because all these other books are great about teaching you trading, but if your mindset is screwed, none of this matters. It's all junk. Just throw it away because it's all about mindset. Trading, I feel, is 80% mindset, 20% technical. Good old Pareto rule, 80-20. So yeah, get this book. It's excellent. I've read it probably 10 or more times. I still go back to it when I have bad trading days or weeks, when I'm in a rut, when I'm feeling a little down on my trading. I just go back to this book. There might be some chapters that I pick up and read or listen to, before I go to bed, or when I wake up, just to kind of get me in the right mindset. So excellent, excellent book. All right, next up is Anna Cooling's A Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis. The book is a bit verbose. She's British, right? So for you Brits out there, I think you understand what I'm saying. It is a little verbose, but it is excellent in terms of learning volume price analysis. Now, I've worked with traders, with mentors that only use price action, right? Support and resistance levels, volume, to trade. No anchored VWAP, no Elliott wave, no Fibonacci, no moving averages, no secondary lagging indicators. And this is a way to trade. I like using, volume, but I also like to add in those other layers that give me a bit more confidence. But it's a very good book, and really to sum it up, it's just teaching you how to watch volume, to understand if the move is true, right? So, like for instance, if you see a breakout with volume and a continuation with volume, it's probably a good breakout. And if you see a pullback with low volume, right, and not, above average volume, then it's probably a counter trend move and we're going to reverse and go back in the direction of the trend. So that's kind of like, it's really just a basic overview, but definitely an excellent book to read. All right, next up, Brian Shannon, Technical Analysis Using Multiple Time Frames. I'll say in terms of my technical journey, this book probably had the biggest impact on me because it really helped me break down my process in terms of multi-time frame analysis. And for me, as a swing trader, it helps me understand, what time frames I should be looking at. And then from day trading perspective, it also helps me understand what time frames I should be looking at. So make sure to pick this book up. It's an excellent, excellent book. I think it's only in hardcover format. It's like 60, $70. This one you can get on audio, Trading in the Zone. You can get it on audio, Kindle, or hardcover. You can get this one on hardcover, Kindle. I'm not sure if I think this is on audio as well, but this one's only hardcover. So you have to pick this up. You can get it on Amazon. There's a bookstore called, what is the name of it? Thriftbooks.com. That tends to be where I pick up my secondary books. Like these types of books, I don't need like a brand new spanking shiny book. I tend to get like offhand thriftbooks.com is a great spot to pick up some of these books. Okay, so definitely this is like, I would say, a must-have. This is a must-have. This is a must-have. Now we're going to get into some of the more specifics. So if you are like beginner to somewhat beginner intermediate, just focus here. Don't worry about the rest. Focus here. Master these books. Master your mindset. Master volume price analysis. Master multi-time frame analysis. Spend the next 6 to 12 months here and really digest it, learn it, practice it. Once you're ready to take that next step, maybe year 2, year 3, then you could layer on any one of these, right? I would say actually, you know what? Layer in chart patterns. I think this Thomas Bulkowski, this is the 3rd edition. I think this is the latest one. This is excellent. You guys and gals know I love chart patterns. I could see them and spot them from a mile away. It is really helpful to understand, where you are in a trade, what the setup is. Is it a reversal pattern? Is it a continuation pattern? Really, really nice. This is kind of like your appendix. You want this book. You don't have to read it cover to cover, but maybe, thumb through it almost like an encyclopedia and start understanding like the key chart patterns, right? Sorry. So we're going to go back. So the other 3 things I really swear by in terms of my trading are Fibonacci, anchored VWAP, and Elliott wave. So this, I think, is the best Fibonacci book. This is Carolyn Borodin. If you know her, she is known as the Fib Queen. That is kind of her handle. And she's really great. I mean, I learned so much in terms of support, resistance, clusters, projections, timing. She's excellent, excellent. I think the book, if you're not familiar with fibs and fib trading, it's probably going to take a couple of reads. And it's hard to read this book on its surface without actually applying it in practice. This is a, you do, I do type of book, right? You watch her do it and then you do it. You watch her do it and then you do it. And she goes through historical charts. And so you can also do the same thing with your charting platform. And I would highly recommend read a chapter, look at the examples, and then go to your own charts and do those examples as she did them. Build the muscle memory of how to draw out your fibs. And I think that will be really, really, really helpful. Okay. So again, we're in year 2, year 3. Anchored VWAP really has added a really nice layer to my trading. And again, this is the same author, Brian Shannon. This is his 2nd book. And he didn't create the anchored VWAP, but he really reinforced it and put it on the map for a lot of traders. And to the point where over the last 5 years, almost every trading platform now and charting platform has an anchored VWAP uh, indicator that you can place on a chart. And so Brian goes through all these scenarios. He goes through all the settings, where you should use anchored VWAP, uh, how to trade or how to use it to trade. Really, really excellent book. I've only read it once. I do need to go back through it a couple of more times because he gets very specific in terms of scenarios, whether it's a power earnings gap up or an IPO or the start of a year, the start of a week, the start of a month, your intraday VWAPs, your swing low, your swing high, your month to date. So he goes through all these scenarios, and I think it's really helpful because the anchored VWAP is like psychology playing out on the chart. Okay, last but not least, Elliott Wave. This is the Bible of Elliott Wave by Frost and Pretscher. It's Elliott Wave Principle. This is going to give you the basics. It's going to tell you about impulse waves, about corrective waves, all the different rules that you need to understand. So it's an excellent book to learn Elliott Wave. I would say this is more probably year 3 to 5 you want to get into Elliott Wave. Don't try and do everything at once. You're going to confuse yourself and you're going to think, oh, I should use this here and I should use that there. No, you start with psychology, you move on to price analysis, then you start thinking about technical analysis using multiple time frames, then you layer in some fibs, you layer in some anchored VWAP, and then once you have mastered all of this, then move on to Elliott Wave. And I will say, for me, I've somewhat mastered my trading psychology. I would say maybe I'm a 7 to 8 out of 10 here on volume price analysis. On multiple time frames, I would say I'm an 8 or a 9. On Fibonacci, I would say I'm an 8 or a 9. Anchored VWAP, I would say like maybe I'm a 7 or an 8. Elliott Wave, I've been using Elliott Wave for maybe 3 years now. I would say I'm like maybe a 6 Elliott Wave. And why I'm not like 9, 10 is because there's a lot of Elliotticians, and that's what they call them, Elliotticians. There's a lot of Elliotticians that they get really deep into the sub counts. And for me, I don't need to get that deep. I just want to know where I'm at. I don't need to know what subwave I'm in and, this, pull back. I don't need all of that. I just want to know the big picture. Am I in a wave 3? Am I in a wave 4? I could murk out some, sub counts, but that's really it. You don't need to get mired in the deep end and get so deep into it. So maybe over time I'll get 7, 8. I'm never going to be a 10. I don't think I'll ever be a 10 on Elliott Wave, but you don't need to. You just need to know where you're at. And you'll hear me talk a lot about Elliott Wave and where we are in terms of the move. I think that's good enough. But anyway, these are my books. These are on my shelf. They're in my Kindle. I have digital copies of some of them as well. Really, this is the basis for your trading, right? Psychology, volume, multiple time frame, fibs, anchored VWAP, Elliott Wave. I don't really talk too much about much more, right? Yeah, I use RSI and MACD and sometimes stochastics, and I have some other indicators that I use, but for the most part, this is like 90% the core of my trading. So hopefully this video makes a lot of sense. I wanted to give you something a little different because I know we've been talking a lot about on-chart stuff, and we'll talk a little bit more down the road about non-chart type of trading things like the books, like psychology, like journaling, that the work that needs to be done outside of the actual trading. So if you have any questions about any of these books, or you want further recommendations, maybe you've already looked at all these books and read them, and maybe you have specific questions on them, or maybe you're looking for further recommendations. I mean, there's books on candlesticks that I think are great. Candlestick recognition is also really helpful. So there's a lot of other things out there that are more nuanced, but I wanted to give you the broad stroke here to show you what I really enjoy. And again, this is my opinion. There are other traders that will have other opinions on other books that make more sense for them. So, yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.